You'll be pleased to know I'll be brief as well, because I'm really keen that you hear from the folk who have been behind this and done such a brilliant job. I'm deeply moved and challenged by what is an extraordinary piece of work. This is a significant step for us as the church, which started out as a local response and has become part of the implementation of national church guidance. And it's so important for us to recognise that the steps we are now taking are being led by those with lived experience of church-based abuse. We are deeply in their debt, and I'm grateful that we're invited to be part of this journey with them, and I find their leadership and their courage inspiring and humbling. And because the strategy is survivor-led, that means its origins are in real experiences of trauma in the church. That's not easy for any of us. And yet the courage of survivors in sharing their experience helps all of us towards transformation and growth, both for the survivors of church-based abuse and also for our parishes and wider communities. This means that this strategy is concerned with nothing less than the healing of the whole church. This transformation, growth, and healing is what we believe God longs for the whole of our lives and our communities. And we can be in no doubt that this healing is badly needed. How badly needed is made devastatingly clear by the Sky Report on safeguarding practices in the Church of England in 2019 and by the ICSA report on the Church of England in 2020. At a national level, the Church of England's response has included new guidance on responding well to victims and survivors of abuse. That guidance was agreed in November 21 and is effective as of April this year. And if I told you, what would you do? This has become part of this guidance. The healing of the whole church, I hope you will understand, is vital. It's vital because in places where healing happens, it makes for better responses to disclosures of non-recent abuse. But it also makes the church safer now. The starting point is to acknowledge that the injuries inflicted by church-based abuse are not just physical, emotional, psychological, or financial. All of that they are, but they are also moral and spiritual for the individual victims, but also for the church communities who are groomed by abusers in their midst. Such moral and spiritual injuries can generate shame and fear, both for survivors, becoming a barrier to disclosing abuse and seeking help, and for others in the church, becoming a barrier to responding well to disclosures. And moral injury has also inhibited the church from being sorry, as opposed to merely saying sorry. Being sorry for the abuses committed within her. The healing of the whole church involves overcoming these barriers of shame and fear. Where this healing happens, survivors go from being silenced to being heard and valued, and our communities can be transformed. I am profoundly grateful for those who are leading us on these next steps towards healing, particularly those with lived experience of church-based abuse. I'm grateful too for our safeguarding team as they work with all of us. I commend everyone involved in this project to you. And this is very much a next step, perhaps a small step, but a really vital one on our longer journey towards the healing that God longs to bring to the whole church and to all God's people. I can say it is an utter privilege to be walking this path and taking these steps with you.